Anyways, I'm gonna reload this Facebook page one more time. What's up, Ramses? My brother, nice to see you. All right. Anyways, Facebook stream being ridiculous, but I still got several other sources that I'm streaming to, even though the audience isn't huge yet. But that's all right. Over time, we're gonna get there. We're gonna keep plugging away. So we talked yesterday. For those of you who haven't watched this in order, whatever, this is all digestible content that you can take one thing at a time and try to apply it to your life and show up in a radically more connected way in your relationship. So, what we talked about yesterday was learn to hit send on the first text. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to make it exactly what you want it to be to start carrying through with action. Today is a very important principle to me that is that has affected my life greatly. It's something that I've started to apply and have seen immediate results in the past couple of years doing this. It is say what you mean and mean what you say often. Don't just do it every now and then. Like always mean what you say and always say what you mean. Um, when I say this, I'm talking about um, ordering your words in a way that you're not misrepresenting yourself when you're speaking to people. So, tell a little story. Now, this is tell a little story. I've been with my wife for almost 20 years, right? That's a long time. I love her very much. She's the most important person in my life. She is, without her, I would be a mess. I would be a completely different person. I wouldn't have anything together in my life that I've got together without her. So, whenever I think about say what you mean and mean what you say, I think about how about 15 years in, um, I'm just, going about my business and my wife comes to me very downtrodden, obviously very sad, and asks me like, "Hey, can we talk?" I'm like, "Sure. What did I do now?" And she asked me, "Are you still attracted to me?" I'm like, "What? What? Like, of course I'm still attracted to you." Like, when she asked me, "Do you like me? Do you like hanging out with me?" I'm like, "Duh! Like, I'm married to you. Obviously, I'm attracted to you. Obviously, I like hanging out with you. It's obvious, right?" It's obvious to me up here that inner dialogue is completely different than what you're going to get from somebody else who is not listening in your head. You have to say what you mean. You have to talk to the people who you care about and give them reasons to believe that you care about them. You can't just think about it. I got in the habit of thinking when my wife walked into a room, "Ooh, she looks good," but never saying anything. Having these compliments in my head just pile up of, "Ooh, man, that was really funny. Oh, she's so engaging." Like, "Oh, that was a really interesting story." All these things just building up in my head and never coming out of my mouth. Say what you mean. If I had told her every time I thought she looked good, every time that I that her smile struck me and and made me a little happier than I was before. If I had told her all those things instead of just thinking them, do you think that maybe she would have had more of an idea that I was still very attracted to her? She would have any doubt whatsoever that I was still in love with her, that I still liked her. I mean, I'm pretty sure not saying what I meant gave her every reason to doubt that I was still feeling those feelings for her. So say what you mean. Like, I can't, I don't think I can stress this enough. Whenever you say what you mean, you are you're putting those thoughts that you have in your head and you're giving people reason to believe that you actually care for them. You can't just expect them to pull it out of your mind and go forth with the information that you've been thinking all day. So, and then on the other side of that, mean what you say. And this one's harder because this includes follow through on the on the promises you make, which not even promises, just statements. You have to have follow through and you have to have forethought to mean what you say. That means you're going to have to think about what is happening, when it's happening, and then what is going to happen later before you make a promise, before you make a commitment. You have to actually say things that you mean, or else you're going to be misrepresenting yourself and trying to make it up in the back end of, yeah, I said this thing. Well, now I have to figure out, is that something I really want to be beholden to, or is that something that um, I actually desire to be ordered in my life? You have to think first. So if you're saying what you mean and you're meaning what you say, does that mean that you should have an entire inner dialogue before you speak to anybody? No, absolutely not. It means that you have to practice. It is a muscle. Speaking is a muscle. It's something that you get used to, filtering through your thoughts faster and being able to actually put them out for somebody else to ingest without having to have this entire inner dialogue of, well, is this appropriate, is this kind, is this helpful, is this respectful? You should be practicing those things whenever you're speaking all the time, to whenever it becomes a serious situation, you're used to having those kind of filters. And it's especially important for us as ADHD men, because it is much harder to train that muscle, because we have that gap between executive function and knowledge base. Like, we know that there are certain things that are not always appropriate to say, but it is much harder for us to access that knowing in a situation where we've become excited. And that's, stress, or actual like fun excitement. It goes both ways. Like, sometimes our brain just gets so intense about the things that we're excited about that we feel like we have to completely bury somebody with information about the thing, whenever that may not be appropriate for the situation. So sometimes it's just practicing restraint. So when I say practicing restraint, I don't mean that now I'm never going to talk about anything that's important to me. No, that's not what that means. It means that I'm going to give enough information for the person who I'm connecting with. Like, if I'm connecting with my wife, like, she deserves all of me. Like, whenever I married her, I gave her all of me. That's what she gets. So that means I'm gonna unload an unnecessary amount of information on her, but she loves me and accepts me and will tell me when she's had enough. Um, but if it's a coworker who you're just getting to know, sometimes you're going to need to practice restraint and just give them a little bit of information, enough for them to make the decision they need to make. Um, sorry, I don't know how this going hard on the live thing is going to be for my voice long distance, because it's been a little rough already. um, what the heck? Now it's there. So timeout. I'm so confused. Whatever. So Facebook is showing me my video, but it's telling me that my post details aren't complete. It's really acting wild. So I hope anybody who tried to tune in on Facebook was able to redirect here and find it somewhere else. I'll be reposting all the videos, but that the really big thing here is, whenever you are trying to radically improve your communication, you have to take radical action. And I think that a radical action that is immediately applicable is being more conscious of the words you're using, being more conscious of the things that you're saying, and saying what you mean and meaning what you say. And I think it's important to have grace for yourself. It's important to have grace for the people that you're having conversations with, and also asking for grace when it's necessary. I don't think that anybody is ever going to take a goal like being more authentic and more honest in their words and immediately apply it perfectly. That's not something that's going to happen. But if you start trying, the people around you are going to appreciate it. And as they know what you're doing, and you're telling them about your intention, they're gonna start to look to you as a more honest and authentic person, and that's going to immediately allow deeper conversations to happen. um, I can tell you that whenever, like, who wants deeper, or who wants better relationships at work? Like, if anybody wants that, here's something that you can do: is you can say what you mean, and mean what you say. Um, Whenever I was working with the fire department and I was managing our 5K, I felt like I needed to do every single piece of the work by myself. Whenever somebody would say, "Hey, do you need anything?" I'd say, "I'm good. I'm good. I got it." And what I really meant was, I'm not good. I'm completely overwhelmed. I'm terrified. I need help. I wish somebody would just start helping me instead of asking me what to do. And I was so afraid to be a burden on somebody else that everybody thought that I didn't want help because I wouldn't just say what I meant, which was, "Hey, I don't know how to ask you guys for help in a way that is going to get the response I need, but I need help. And I don't want to do this all myself. I just don't want to put anybody out. So if anybody would like to help, that would be great." Or talk to my boss and said, "Hey, I'm in the weeds. I really could use some assistance. Can you assign somebody to help?" And that would have changed the entire thing. But instead, I became almost anxiety ridden to a point where, as I'm trying to manage this thing by myself, I am hiding who I'm emailing. I'm hiding who I'm going to meet with that day because I just don't want anybody to come in and mess with how I'm doing things at the last moment. It's not even like I wasn't doing anything that was illicit or under the table. It's just that I was so afraid that if I had somebody intervene in any way at the last moment, they were going to tell me I was doing it wrong and they were going to stop the progress I was making because I knew what I was doing in the long term was going to be successful. But it was different than the way that things were done at the fire department. And if they had stopped the way I was doing things without replacing it with some sort of uh, reasonable option, it would have mired the progress of the event I was trying to host. And that to me was unacceptable. And that's a another thing I've become self aware of is that I can be hyper focused on the success of a project, but to me that's a good thing. Like I wanted to get it successful, and I should have just been more open and communicating with how I was getting it done and what I needed from other people, or I mean, and once again, just giving them that information. So then, if they didn't help, they didn't think I was trying to keep them away from the project. They knew that they were just making a decision to do something else, and that's fine. Like I would have much rather have had to do it all myself and not been paranoid about whether people are watching over my back or talking trash behind me because oh, Bruce won't take any help, or all those things could have been avoided by just being more open in the communication. So say what you mean what you say, and do it often. Just do it. So that's 22 minutes. I was hoping somebody would come in so we could just have a brief chat about anything, really. Just have maybe a little coaching session. But like I said, I thought somebody was going to hop on Facebook and it did not work, and that's it's really frustrating. But it is what it is, and I will keep showing up at 6 p.m. every night for the next 26 days after this. We got 26 days to make it happen. For those of you who have been following my journey on this, uh, I've been moving with very strong intention towards finding my people, finding the ADHD men who need my help, who I feel like I've been called to serve. And in 3 days, I've made more connections moving towards that goal than I've made in the last 3 months because I wasn't making it clear to the people who I wanted to help that I was coming to help them. I, I was I was ashamed and afraid of saying that I'm a life coach. I didn't want to put myself out there as that. I wanted to dress it up a little bit, make it different because I am imperfect. I am still coming along. I don't think that I'm there completely, and because of that, I let fear get to me, and I let it block me from doing the work that I'm obligated to do. I feel like I have been given the experience I've been given. I've been given the skill and technique and the ability to connect that I've been given so I can go out there and help this population because I've been at the worst part of it. And I promise you, it is not a good place to be. It is not a fun place to be. It is not desirable in any way, shape, or form. So, knowing all that, I know that I've got to get to my people and find them. So, it's to the point where I know, like, I'm already seeing some progress with that. I'm moving with intention. I'm already seeing signs that that everything's gonna work out. I have no doubt that in 30 days I'm going to be able to make my business sustainable, so I don't have to go back to work, because I know that I'm being called to do this, and it's gonna happen in a way that this is going to be a thing that I'm going to be able to do at least a good majority of my time, because I think that it's the work that I was put on this earth for. So. Um, Anyways, if you see this and you are hoping for some free resources, I've got some on my website, www.authenticidentitymanagement.com. I've got a free ebook, a free like 5-step blueprint for unmasking as an ADHD man, and also I've got an authentic assessment. If you're curious if my services might be right for you, just hop on there, take the survey, and it'll let you know if on a scale of you know. Like it's like a test score. If you take this test and you're in the top 90, 91%, then we should set something up real quick. And there's a grade scale, and it lets you know everything on there, so you can take that. There's a link in the bio, and also it's all available on my website, www.authenticidentitymanagement.com. um, I hope to start connecting with some of you. I think that I'm going to find my people. I hope that you guys are all finding self acceptance, if not with me helping you, with somebody else helping you, or on your own. It is definitely possible to do this work on your own. I did it myself. I don't think that you have to have somebody to help you. But if I could have had somebody who'd already swam the sea of despair that I went through and built a bridge back to me to get me over faster without getting drenched in that despair, I would absolutely take it. I would absolutely take it if I could go back and coach myself. So let me help you. Even if it's just helping you for free with my free resources and coming in live and just chatting and having a coaching session that way. I want to help these people. I want to help ADHD men. I want to help them show up in their lives and engage with purpose and passion and change the way they show up, because they deserve to love themselves and accept themselves in their lives and stop just going through the motions, doing what they thought they were supposed to do because that's what other people told them. There is a better life. It exists out there. So all right, I'm gonna go and wrap it up for today. Thank you everybody who watches this eventually. Start hitting me up live. I'll be here 6 p.m. Central every night. Come hit me up. Come to, even though Facebook messed up today, I'd prefer if you came to Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, because I don't think I'm going to keep doing Instagram forever because it won't let me stream to the video portion. So thank you, everybody. Be yourself. Love yourself. Good night.